Yo, the tomato just explodes. Hold on, let me see if I can show you. That's why we roasted it first. I'm going to show you how to make some macaroni and cheese that's dairy-free and gluten-free. And I know you've probably had it before, but it's probably not that good. A lot of the alternative mac and cheeses that I personally have tried involve a lot of carrots, sweet potato, cauliflower, squash, and none of those you really associate with cheese. Everything just ends up coming out kind of sweet and a little grainy. And let's face it, that's not mac and cheese. Mac and cheese should be fatty, salty, creamy, cheesy. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. Yes, we're doing a cashew cheese, but there's also one other ingredient I'll mention in a little bit. First, let's set 2 pots of water to boil. To one of them, I'm going to add my elbow chickpea pasta. I was debating whether I should go with shells or elbow. I think most people prefer elbow. I'm not really sure if one is more optimized for the cheese transportation, but let me know if you can think of a better reason why I should have went with shells. Why gluten-free? Personally, I have 2 reasons. I'm trying to maximize my nutrition so I can get a little extra fiber, minerals, and protein in there. And even if there's minuscule amounts of inflammation happening from a lot of the processed flours that we get, especially here in the US, I would rather avoid that as much as possible. So for something that's this easy to just swap out, I don't really mind it. So now the cheese, cashew-based with nutritional yeast. This combination is amazing. I mean, you know it's not cheese, but it really hits that spot. The only real problem with it is the texture gets a little bit more of a cream versus that cheesiness. So my idea for that is to use a potato. I've made a potato-based cheese before, and the consistency actually really impressed me. It was very gooey, and it had that nacho cheese pull. Once that other pot is boiling, we're going to peel the potato, dunk that in until it gets nice and soft and tender. I'm going to give you 2 versions, so don't forget to separate your macaroni once it's cooked. So to start our cheese sauce, we're going to blend some cashews, nutritional yeast, salt, onion powder, and garlic powder. Feel free to throw in anything else you want. I'm keeping it pretty simple. And make sure you have a good blender because it's going to grind this up into a very fine powder, which is exactly what you want. So as you can see, we've got our powder. Normally I would add a little water in here, but I'm actually going to wait, take a little bit of that potato water. It sounds a little funny, right? Potato water. As the potato's cooking in there, the starches are coming out, the water's getting a little thicker. So we actually want to use that in our cheese sauce. So add in just a little bit along with the potato and start blending it. It's going to get pretty thick, so keep a little water nearby. Keep adding a little bit more until you get your desired consistency. That's kind of why I call this about this much, you know? Like, you just kind of keep adding stuff, you take away, it's whatever you want. Nothing has to be done one way. Maybe you want it more gooey, maybe you want it a little more chunky. I don't know. I'm not going to judge you. At least not too hard. So like I said, just don't overcommit and add too much water because you can always add more, but you can't take away. Plenty of nutritional yeast because that's where a lot of the flavor comes from. But blend this all together and make sure you taste it so you can tell if you want to add a little more salt. So once you got your cheese to the right consistency and the right taste, you can leave it in a blender or put it in another container in case you don't think you're going to use it all. And I'm draining my pasta just before it becomes kind of al dente, whatever the box says. So remember, don't forget to separate your pasta because we got 2 versions. I mean, if you just want to make one of these, then go for that. No biggie. So I'm going to add some of the pasta to the bowl and another to my baking dish. So while all that's cooking, I'm actually going to toss in some broccoli and tomatoes into the oven. We're going to use these as a mix-in / topper. I've also got some carrots. I'm going to shred these with my mandolin. And if you don't have one of these, game changer. So I suggest investing in one. So now grab those tomatoes that we threw into the oven and they should be nice and juicy and some of their flavors have started to come out. Let's start with the baked version first. I'm going to add in some cheese sauce and give it a good mix. From there, I'm going to take my tomatoes from the oven and carefully mix these in. I don't really want to break too many of them. And then, toss a little on top, make it nice and pretty, get it nice and plated. Even if it's just for you, why not? We eat with our eyes. I'm going to add a little crumble. I'm kind of lazy, so I actually just found some gluten-free crackers that are pretty good. They're already a little seasoned. I'm going to throw in some garlic powder, paprika, and thyme. Get it nice and crumbly, sprinkle that on top, and then I'm going to broil these. You could bake it. It's just going to take longer, so keep an eye because you'd be surprised how quickly you burn stuff in the broiler. So now that that part's done, let's go over to the other mac. I grew up with mac and cheese, Kraft, in the box. I always really liked the broccoli ones. Maybe I was a weird kid. So I'm actually going to throw some broccoli into this one along with the shredded carrots. I think you get a nice color contrast. You get that green in there, a little bit of the orange to help with that cheesy yellow orange color. And I'm just going to toss this all together. It's a good way to sneak in some extra veggies. So why not? And I think the oven can still go a little bit longer. So in the meantime, I'm going to get out my chives. And yeah, you can cut these with a knife. I just got a scissor. This is super simple. Let's just cut this. I'll cut enough for the other batch. And here we go. We'll sprinkle this on top. Let's see how the oven's doing. There we go, perfect. I'm gonna throw on a little bit more of those chives, sprinkle a little paprika on top. All right, let's get some of those money shots for you. Here's a scoop. Yes, I know, it's not real cheese. This is way better than whatever you probably got at that vegan restaurant for 20 bucks. So first, let me show you the cheese sauce. Little veggie medley. You gotta listen to it, hold on. Actually, I'll get hold on, bigger bowl. Hold on, I gotta get the mic down here. Guess that's why everybody likes elbows. So we've got the veggies. And then we got the baked with the crumble. I don't even know what to call it. I'm a fan of anything toasted and crunchy. I know I'm gonna like this one better. So let's start here. I'm gonna eat both. If your cheese sauce isn't cheesy enough, you probably just need a little more salt than you think. Because remember, we're mixing it with things, so it's okay to over salt. Now, yo, the tomato just explodes. Hold on, let me see if I can show you. That's why we roasted it first. Okay, I can't really focus anymore. I'm gonna do a quick cut down. So if you're not already on my TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, any of that, check it out. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, so you can get notified. If it looks good, share it with someone, leave a comment. The YouTube's a little weird, so make sure you hit that notification bell as well. Otherwise, you'll never know when I post and you're gonna miss all these goodies.